Kim Obrzut. I originally met her many, many years ago. She was presenting at the high school here. They were having an art show or a sculpture show, and when I saw her work, I stopped and I looked at it, and she was there presenting it herself. And I said, you know, I'd really like to represent you. I don't really ask artists all that much anymore, but I'd like to represent you. And Kim said, oh no, no. I do everything myself. I said, really? And then she explained that she does all this by herself. She doesn't need gallery. She doesn't want anything. So now you fast forward maybe 15 years later, and she ends up in the gallery. She says to me, do you remember me? Would you take me now? And I looked at her work. It was like this wonderful, fantastic sculpture like no other. And I said, well, I said I would, and of course I will. And immediately she became one of our larger sculptors. But it's not about the sand so much as about the love of her work. We love it, we present it that way, the clients like it. I'm just thrilled every time I pass it, because I have to pass her work on my way to my office. It's like I get a rush looking at her work. It's really just great, and we're so honored that she's in our gallery.
Hello, my name is Crystal Obrzut, and I'm representing my mother, Kim Obrzut. This is her art. She's the first Hopi Indian woman to cast in bronze. She's been doing bronze for 30 years, so me and my sisters grew up watching her. She likes to make them look like stone. Stone represents strength and wisdom to the Hopis. So a lot of her patinas that you see will look like stone, even though it's all cast in bronze, and it's all done using the lost wax process. My grandfather was a kachina carver, and my mom would watch and watch every day. Still to this day, women are not allowed to carve kachinas. So my mom would watch, and this is what she found that is allowed by the tribe. So she started all this in clay 30 years ago and had actually got her degree from NAU in bronze casting. For all of them, they have no face. It represents one people or one tribe. They're not to represent one person. My mom also uses mostly the gourd shape. The gourd's the most used utensil for cooking, pottery, tools. The gourds are very important to Hopi still every day today. So each piece has a story. Like this is Morning Song. At the end of winter, the Hopi start awaiting the morning song, and it's a song that will wake up the whole village around 6 in the morning, and they're singing and dancing in the song, and they're announcing that 4 weeks from that day is the butterfly dance. When we come in with a new piece, everybody here is very excited to learn the story, and my mom's work is meant to teach people the stories, and it really helps the Hopi culture. A lot of our culture is not written. It is told verbally or through art. So through her art, she teaches everybody, and we try to reach as many people out there as possible to tell a lot of the beautiful Hopi culture stories. In Hopi, which means the peaceful people, they want everyone in harmony. Everyone is one people. So I think that's the biggest thing when I think of my mom's work, is how everyone like harmony and togetherness and equal. Everybody that's been working on my mom's pieces has been working on them for about 2 decades. We don't just drop them off at a foundry and pick them up 8 weeks later, 12 weeks later. We have a guy who does all of our own molds. Then we pick it up, and we have a guy that does all of our bronze casting, all of our chasing, all of our patina work, all of our high polish, and then even all the way down to the handmade bases that she does. Our patinas are some of the best in the nation. My mom will bring rocks or pieces of fabric or anything that she finds, and will create a patina off of it. When they talk patina, they don't even talk color. They talk feel and what you want the piece to mean and what it represents. We allow everybody to touch our sculptures. We want them to get a feel for it and be able to see the back without having to lift her. Of course, this is the heavy one. So this is about a 300-pound bronze, and now you can see the back without having to lift. This represents the traditional wool dress that the Hopis wear, the wool shawls, and it's a really heavy, thick, homemade wool. So she likes to, and it's sculpture, like I said, it's meant to be touched, so she likes to bring that through a lot of her pieces. for people to touch and know what that heavy homemade wool feels like, and it kind of brings us back to being on the reservation and actually wearing the wool shawls. Well, she started off with 2 Native American art shows a year. Galleries were unfamiliar at first, and she started growing and growing, doing more shows, and I think we were noticing that we wanted a different exposure. We came in here and we fell in love with it, and we loved the quality, and I think my mom's quality matches, she has very high standards, museum quality, and this is the place that will actually fit right in for her.